Wanted to put this video out there for the young woman and young man that has been sexually molested. This is like opening a can of worms, and not many people know how to talk about the subject because it's quite complex. I'm going to be doing a whole series of videos, but I think one of the biggest questions a molested child tends to ask themselves is, am I going to grow up to be a person that's going to hurt other people? Am I going to grow up to be the monster that hurt me? Am I going to hurt another child that way? Am I going to sexually rape or molest another child that way? And I wanted to leave this encouragement with you is that in life, each and every one of us have choices. And no, you can either choose to be the hero, you can choose to be an advocate for people that have been sexually molested, children such as yourself that has been sexually molested, or alternatively, you can be a coward and you can choose to hurt a child by sexually harassing and molesting them. And that's a very dark road to go down. So if I was you, I would choose to walk in the light. To the young man and woman that's been molested, sexually molested, I just want to let you know that everything is going to be okay. Talking about the subject is like opening a can of worms. And I think it's about time in society we start talking about this subject, because there's so many kids out there that are battling with these issues. They are battling with so many unasked questions, and they really don't know who to ask. One of the questions they will continually ask themselves until they've found healing is, why me? Why was it me? Why did they choose to rape or molest me? And some of you will go down the road of psychology and try to understand the mindset of why the person in your life chose to hurt you. And what was it about you? Was it your fault? Did you ask for it? And the answer to that is no, it wasn't your fault. You didn't ask to be molested or raped. Some people are in a very dark space, and their thoughts are dark and their actions are dark, and they are in a very evil space. But with life, we all have choices. You can either choose this life that God has given us for the good, and for the good that is to protect and to build, or you can choose to harm and destroy. And because people are in a very dark and poor space, sometimes the only thing they know is, the only thing they're aware of is how to destroy. And I'm sorry for the pain. Another one of those questions you're going to be asking yourself is, I think this is like one of the biggest questions a child that has been molested or raped ever asks themselves is, am I going to grow up to be that monster that did that to me? I think in society and in a lot of shows and in the media out there, if you've been molested, somehow giving you the escape card for you to molest somebody else kind of like justifies the fact that you can do that to another human being. And I wanted to give a different narrative. And the other narrative is, no, you've got a choice. This is your choice in life. You can choose to be an advocate for change, and you can choose to protect and walk in the light, or you can go the coward way out and you can harm a child. I also wanted to talk about self-harming, because a lot of that self-harming, suicide, is all linked and all tied to child abuse. And in South Africa, it's a growing concern. Children watching pornography at such a young age, not understanding what they are watching in front of them. And adults not being comfortable enough to have a conversation about what is right and what is wrong. It is not right for you to touch somebody without them giving you consent. Having sex means the consequence of that is you falling pregnant and having a child. So that is why in the Bible it is considered, God calls it sacred for a man and a woman to be married. So out of that comes procreation, means you create life from a safe environment. Having a family is supposed to be the most beautiful thing on earth, because when a mother and a father that has a healthy mindset, that's healthy emotionally, creates a home, it's supposed to be an environment that is safe for kids to grow in. And sadly, there are so many children out there that are growing up in single parent homes where we have fathers that are financially absent, physically absent, emotionally absent. And it's a sad place when you have a young man growing up and there isn't a father in that home to guide him and show him on what it is to be a man. How does a man show up in life? How does a man behave in those situations? It is very sad. And I would like to see, and I do these videos to encourage people, but also to encourage the men out there. We need to see more men stepping up and taking up roles and showing and exempling, not just to your kids, but being a great example to the world out there. As a man, how do you show up? How do you be a good husband? How do you be a good father? How do you make sacrifices for the greater good of humanity? How do we do that? How, as a man, how do you restrain yourself? How do you hold yourself back? How do you control yourself? How do you control the desires of your flesh? I don't know about you, but I am sick and I am tired of our daughters being raped and molested and going down the road of drug abuse and going down the road of prostitution and going down the road where they are in such destructive relationships and toxic relationships, being beaten from pillar to post because the only thing they knew growing up was pain. And because we didn't have men bold enough to stand up in our society and say, this is not going to go down, not when I'm around, and not when I'm around, not when I'm on guard. So I think we have a lot of concerns in South Africa, and also throughout the old world. So what can we do as women? We can empower our daughters. We can let them know, you know what? They didn't ask to be molested. When a child comes to you, be it a niece, a nephew, your own sister, when they come to you, your wife, your daughter, when they come to you and they let you know that somebody has touched them inappropriately, as we need women to stand up and say, that's not okay. That's not okay for this to go down. When we are on guard, when we are watching the world, when we are making sure that society is going to be in a better place. So this is something I feel passionately about because I've seen so many lives ruined. When you have been molested, because you only know pain, you're going to gravitate towards pain. You're going to choose people that bring you the most pain in your life. But I want you to leave this word of encouragement to you is, in my videos to come, I'm going to unpack this and I'm going to show you ways in which you can deal with this. That you don't have to self-harm yourself, that you don't have to consider suicide, that you don't have to be so shamed by what has happened in the past. And that there is a future, and the future looks bright. You may not see it at this point in time, but trust me, it looks bright. So thank you for your time, and God bless. When life gives you lemons.